Hi everyone, in this occasion, I have the opportunity to give you some information about the lecture I watched. And this time it was called Think Fast, Talk Smart. And it was basically communication techniques. It was given by Matt Abrahams in the institution of Stanford Graduate School of Business. I chose this lecture because I think it was related with my last presentation of the lecture I watched um, previously, and which was about speaking. And I think communication techniques and speaking is related. So in this occasion, I want to share with you three main ideas. The first one is a brief summary that I want to share with you, then my experience, how I felt, and lastly, new things or things I found interesting. So let's take a look at the first one, a brief summary. First, he said that if you want to transmit a message, speak the language that the audience speaks. And with this, he's not saying like if you speak Spanish and you're going to give us a presentation in Spanish to an audience that only knows English. He means that if your audience is not like very academic, use normal language. You don't need to say like extremely academic stuff because then the audience want to understand what you're trying to say. And I have this example that says one must consider the ramifications. It's like I don't understand it too much. It's like very complex to understand. And then we have the other example. Or today we're going to cover step one, step two, step three. It may seem simple, but it's not. He said that it's better to say first I'm going to do this, then this, and finally this, and that's it. Everyone understands that. He was also saying that if you want to improvise, for example, in a lecture, or I don't know, someone wants to give you a speech, but you have to do a speech too. It may be different, but having a plan in those occasions is really fundamental. For example, first he said that if you want to give a speech to someone to convince or persuade someone, first you have to identify the problem. Then you offer as possible solution, and finally the benefits that the audience is going to receive if they do what you say. And the last one, he says that some people are afraid of speaking in public or with someone else too. And he said that we don't want to see it like a threat, more like an opportunity. If you want to overcome that, the opportunities are very precious because they're not always there. And when you think about it, the more you do it, the more you get used to it. And that's what we want. Then my experience with this, I have to say it was a little bit different because, as I said, he didn't say anything complex. Everything was understandable, and yeah, it was different because of the vocabulary and everything. He said it was very simple, not academic stuff. Even though he was giving a lecture in a university, I know I for me it was better than the others because it was simple language and easy to understand. Not for nothing, it has almost 26 million views. So yeah, if you want to look it up, you can watch it in the channel of Stanford Graduate School of Business on YouTube. And finally, new things I found. So the first one is that when giving a lecture, it is not always necessary to speak in a high level of academic stuff. So just simple words, they are needed. The thing with communication, he said, is to understand and be understood. And more than that, it's just vanity. So yeah, I agree with that. With that, because Yeah, it's just you want to say something and the other person understands. That's it. You have everything. And then it reminded me, I was watching this and it reminded me of this example, like the audience was asking him like if he could stop just to take a picture of the slide, and he was saying like, no, there's a handout that will come at the end that has all the information I'm giving you. And then I realized like it was handout. And then I noticed that it was vocabulary from level 5. So yeah, it reminded me of that. And so yeah, in the conclusion, there are plenty of ways to convey a message. However, knowing and speaking the audience language is essential for a message to be understood. Not only is academic language necessary when it comes to giving a lecture or a presentation. Yes, with this, I really agree with that because, as I said, there was an example of it, and I want to finish this presentation reading this quote that says effective communication is the best way to solve problems by Bradford Winters. Yeah, I really agree with that. I have a very impressive, um, um, I have a very positive impression of this quote because I believe that communication can solve a lot of problems. Many words may be avoided. They could have been avoided, but without communication, things get hard. And yes, I better stop here. I think, yeah. And I hope you really like this presentation. And thank you for listening. See you in the next time.